Thank you.
That was it.
That it? Okay, moving on to consent items. 1.0 personnel. I need a motion on superintendent's recommendation and on personnel action.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can I have roll call, Monica?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana? Aye. Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to business, 1.0 grant, 1.1 superintendent's recommendation. I need a motion for the approval to accept grant funding from the Diagnostic Review Grant from the Colorado Department of Education.
So moved.
Second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can I have roll call, Monica?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana? Aye. Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 1.2 superintendent's recommendation. I need a motion for the approval to accept funding from the Quality Community Foundation from the City of Commerce City.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can I have roll call, Monica?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana? Aye. Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to other, 2.0. 2.1 superintendent's recommendation. I need a motion for the approval to use Interim LLC services for natural gas transport.
So moved.
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, can I have roll call, Monica?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana? Aye. Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 2.2, superintendent's recommendation. I need a motion for the approval to renew license for Plato courseware from Edmund Incorporation.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can we have roll call, please?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana? Aye. Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 2.3, superintendent's recommendation. I need a motion for the approval to purchase curriculum from National Geographic and Santilla for secondary schools to meet the needs of emergency bilingual students.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can we have roll call, please?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana? Aye. Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 2.4, superintendent's recommendation. I need a motion for the approval for in-state overnight travel to attend secondary constructing meeting seminar in Fort Collins, Colorado on June 5th through 9th, 2017.
So moved.
Second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can we have a roll call, Monica?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Mr. Riley?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana? Aye. Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 2.5, superintendent's recommendation. I need a motion for the approval for memorandum of understanding with Relay Graduate School of Education and approval to accept funding from the Colorado Department of Education School Turnaround Leaders Development Grant to cover relay expenses.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, can I have roll call, Monica, please?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Mr. Dryling?
Nay.
Mrs. Quintana? Aye. Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 2.6, superintendent's recommendation. I need a motion for the approval for out-of-state travel to Philadelphia, PA for Relay National Principals Academic Fellowship Program.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, can I have roll call, Monica?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Mr. Dryling?
Nay.
Mrs. Quintana? Aye. Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 2.7, superintendent's recommendation. I need a motion for the approval of the in-state overnight trip to Colorado Springs, Colorado for promoting excellence through equity in Colorado School Conference.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, could I have roll call, Monica?
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Mr. Dryling?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana? Aye. Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 2.8, Superintendent's Recommendation. I need a motion for the calendar change for school closure due to water main break at Stars.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, could I have roll call, Monica?
Mr. Archuleta?
Aye.
Mr. Dryling?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana? Aye. Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Moving on to 2.9, Superintendent's Recommendation. I need a motion for the approval to expand Time Clock Plus time and attendance software from Data Management Incorporation.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. Is this district-wide or is it in a certain departments?
I think it would be district-wide to the appropriate staff.
What is appropriate staff in your,
If you're non-exempt, I get those two
okay,
confused
I need
there.
a little further. What does
Um,
non-exempt mean?
So kind of the concern that we're looking at is, FLSA, and we're talking about, appropriately paying staff when they work overtime. So if you are exempt from those laws, because of the type of a job that you do, you wouldn't have to be on the time clock because you're not gonna get overtime. So that's kind of making that distinction. So if you're, if we are
An
required.
example.
So mostly classified staff, I think all classified staff would be, part of the group we're looking to move to this system because if they work overtime, we need to make sure we're paying that to them. And right now, the system that's in place there is kind of an exception system where if they end up working more than their 40 hours, we ask that they put that onto a timesheet. So that timesheet's it's a piece of paper and that's coming into payroll and it's not as accurate of a system as we would like to see.
So here's my question. Classified is in this building too. With a degree, they're underclassified.
Yep.
So does that mean those people also?
So some support and tech people too, which I think is what you're referring to. So yes, within this building as well. And it would be based on an evaluation of, what is the position and how does that position fit within, federal guidelines for who is exempt and non-exempt from those FLSA laws.
Okay, because we have all the people in HR. Those people are considered classified. See, I think this needs a little bit better clarification as to who
Sure.
this is including and excluding, because you're going to have some issues out there, and they're going to come to us and say, why didn't it go district-wide? I'm looking at the custodians, I'm looking at the paras, I'm looking at HR in here. We have a big number of classified, and I'm not talking about the certified teachers or administrators. Do you see what I'm saying? Because being part of the union, president of the union when I was working here, that was trying to be put in way back. And the reason it was because we had a handful of employees who was coming in at whenever they wanted to come in, and they left when they wanted to come in. So I don't wanna hear complaints from the people out there, cause I'm gonna tell you, it's the ones that are paid less in this district that this is gonna pounce on. And I don't have an issue with it, but my issue is to explain it thoroughly before we as a board approve it. That's my thing. You know, I'm talking about classified people. You know, we are sorry, I'm not working anymore, but the lowest paid people in the district, and that even goes for your people in HR or whoever is classified
So,
here.
I would clarify that, the people in HR and the people in finance that support and tech,
But they're
staff-
underclassified.
Right.
That's what
Would
I'm
actually
saying.
also be on that, would be also on this system as well.
And I think that, to me, in this, I don't see that broken down in here. Because they're gonna come to us, just like the students did.
Right.
I think this needs to be looked at a little bit better. I don't have an issue, because that was one of my complaints before. So there were certain people, when I worked, that never showed up on time. So, you see what I'm saying? And then they would put in that timesheet, and they would what do you call it? Put 8 hours in, outright lying about what they worked. So I don't have a problem, but I think it needs to be explained better in this. And so the people that are out there and in this building know that, because I'm gonna tell you, as a classified person, we were always the ones that got pounced on. So, I don't know, that's how
And then, I don't know, HR, Linda, are you gonna try to clarify, or would you want me to give it a try?
Our
And maybe, and you can help me, but I think what we're trying to do here, Ms. Quintana, is we have to be fair to individuals that are working longer hours. If you are a teacher, you're certified, but
and they are exempt.
exempt. So that means if I'm a teacher and I work from 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I don't get paid extra.
I get that.
But what they're going to do now is the classified staff, we have to keep record of their time, because if they go beyond 8 hours, then
But-
they will be
but you
paid
don't- But see,
beyond.
Dr. J, I'm not trying to
No.
talk against you, but what I'm saying is the language needs to be in here, because a lot of people out there, like if these young people went to work out there, they would not know they were classified. You see what I'm saying? They're under the classification of they're classified. So by law, they have to clock in and clock out. So that's what I'm getting at. Teachers, and you guys know, I know, because I've worked in here for 30-some years, I know. But the employee out there doesn't know their classification, what it means, who's exempt, who's not exempt.
So what you're asking for is, in the definition of non-exempt, you want job positions specifically
I
named, or
just-
do you want, is that what you're looking for? What would help get this passed so that we're in
You
compliance?
could
Because right
put
now we are out
classified,
of
like say
compliance.
classified, includes like HR people. And I know it doesn't mean all of them, but they will know, who they are. Paras, custodian, you know what I'm saying?
No, I understand, but for purposes of getting this passed, what do you guys want this to say? You want it to say specifically HR specialists, payroll specialists, secretaries, or will classified and support and tech of the non-exempt? I mean, because if,
You could put something like, classified, that are under the classified union,
Mhm.
and they would know.
well, and not
that.
necessarily under the union,
But-
because some aren't under
I
the union,
know,
though
but
they're
they know,
classified.
they have an option for
Yeah,
that.
that's right.
Or over here, you could say classified in, this building.
Support and tech. Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
I just want it clear, so they can't come to us and say, why didn't you tell us? Why did you vote for that? I want them to know that this is gonna happen to them. I don't want it sprung on them.
Right, no, that's absolutely our
So-
communication plan, but we need to get it approved
Right.
first in order to start communicating to them, because if it's not to be
I'm just
approved,
concerned
then-
about the language in it. The way it's worded there. They're not gonna know who's exempt and who's not exempt.
Well, they have a couple of ways with the letters that they're provided when they're hired and then also on the job postings. So
most
we
of those-
don't remind them every day
Yeah,
that you're
but you know,
classified or support
I
and
was
tech,
in that
but
position and a lot of the stuff you get, you don't read.
unfortunately, yeah.
So, I would just like it, some form of language in here, so if these young people decide to come to work here, or whoever, they're gonna know they're classified. And they're not exempt. I don't know how you could word it, I don't want it real wordy, but I wanna make sure the people who work here know that this is coming and why. And we can tell them as a board. Simple wording, but not lengthy.
You guys can put that out in like an email format or something to district-wide employees, right?
Right, but if we don't wanna cause that disruption if it's not gonna go forward.
Right, but
so-
all we're doing is basically getting a computer program to track time
Exactly.
to come in compliance with
Expand it,
federal
'cause
law.
We have it for a select
Right.
group right now for transportation, but we need to spread it throughout because we don't have a system to document comp time or, you know, giving overtime to people, so.
Right, and it's not our responsibility if people read their messages or not.
I agree, but
How will this affect the coaching aspect? In other words,
coaching's
There
are
was a-
stipends,
Yeah.
except for
they get a
classified,
regular
right?
stipend and not an overtime.
Well, now classified employees, they would need to be timesheeted or use a system. We'd probably timesheet coaches instead of putting them in a system because
So
it's a
if you
supplemental.
really, if you start putting them on a timesheet, you got coaches, are you going to pay them, let's say they go to Trinidad State, Colorado over here, or to Trinidad State to play a baseball game, are you gonna pay them from the time they leave the school overnight until the time they get back home?
Not for overnight, for working hours if they were doing the
But
game,
they're
but not
working
for.
because they're watching the kids.
Good point, they are. We haven't worked out that detail
So
yet, but
Because what I'm saying is, I don't think people that want to be classified, that are working classified and want to be coaches, should not exist under this overtime. They should exist on a regular contract like the
the
certified.
agreements, right.
Yeah, so that way that, if he's a head coach, he gets paid just as much as a certified head coach.
I understand, and that's,
So-
we have differing, legal opinions. We have some that say that, yeah, we can go ahead and continue doing that. We have other legal opinions that say, no, they need to be at an hourly rate. So,
What does case law say?
the most
Federal
recent
case
opinion
law.
that just, I could go back and get the email. It was about
It is,
2 months
they
ago
have to
that
be
I last
paid.
saw it. But that was the most recent one that was the hourly rate requirement that they were finding.
Which is, I believe, not fair to the classified.
You mean to the
because-
certified, because the classified would be being paid all of those
Well,
hours?
you know, be paid that,
over the
they don't make
stipend.
enough. Or if they keep track of every hour, I know when I coach, I'm 4 hours a day. And I don't know what your hourly rate is, but from the time I get there to work on my field, get everything done, I'm there 4 hours. And on Saturdays, I could be there as many as 8 hours. So,
Or longer?
you know, if you did that, I think in the long run, the classified could make a lot more money. And if, is that what we're gonna do, or? I mean, I think that,
And-
get this, it's a little,
And I think that's probably one of the major areas that they're trying to correct, because what Mr. Rolla said is happening and it's being challenged by individuals. And that's why that's a very big decision that school districts are trying to address and decide, because that is correct, Mr. Rolla. If I'm a coach, I get paid a stipend, right? I'm a certified person. If a classified person works their 8 hours and then goes into coaching, they fall under this category. So that's what this system is,
Most classified do not get overtime unless,
but they're supposed to, and that's
unless
Right.
their supervisor approves it ahead of time.
correct. And I think that's what this system is trying to do, identify the exact amount of hours they're working, because if they're supposed to be paid overtime, we want to be in compliance with the law. That's basically it.
I just think it needs to be better worded. That's me.
I think if maybe what Ms. Quintana is asking for, instead of just saying tracking non-exempt staff, if you could just, like maybe define what that is. What are non-exempt staff? Because some people don't understand what you're saying, and then you could put the definition, and then you know who would fall into that category.
Thanks.
So, what are you recommending?
Can they do, if they get the right wording, can
Verbiage?
they email it to us and then? No?
Well,
We have
you
to
can do
vote.
certain things. I mean, you have a right. I don't know if this is
No, we have
HR. Does this have to be done exactly right now? Can they table it for the next meeting? Is that going to put us behind? Because I know you want it done, but does it have to be done today, or can you make some modifications and bring it back to the?
So what we were hoping is that we'd be able to pilot it here in this spring with people in this building and then roll it out so that we have trainers as the administrators come back in the summertime. So Eddie, your opinion on waiting? Because we have to get the system, roll it out, set up our specifications. It's quite detailed because Time Clock Plus is going to go ahead and modify it to our specifications. So that's going to take more time. So putting it out to May 9th is our next one, would just delay the whole thing. So instead of being able to start rolling on the specifications and then the trainings and piloting, it'll set it back. I don't think we'd be ready by July when our administrators come back and our secretaries come back to have that out in the system, to have those training groups. It pushes into the fall at least, or maybe January.
Can we amend this proposal with the statement that what Connie wants, and then go ahead and vote on it?
You mean amend it to say like pilot?
Yeah.
You just said.
Well, that's what we're gonna start with after we get our specifications, so that
It
people in
doesn't
this
say that.
building are able to let us know what bugs, kinks, that type of thing we need to work through before we roll it out to the system. But if we can get it purchased, then we can start those pilot
But see, it
programs.
doesn't say that it's
But
a pilot.
that's what I'm saying. If we can amend this motion and say what Connie wants, specify who this means, then we can go ahead and vote on it at this time, right? If we amend it?
Have to make gotta amend the motion, gotta make.
Yeah, I mean,
amendment.
if,
We could do that.
But we still voting yes or no on that, it's still gonna be no.
and stuff, so.
And I want to clarify too, just
Yeah.
because of that statement about the pilot. This, what you're voting on is not to vote on a pilot. This is the entire program. So
See,
this
and
is not
that's
just a
what-
pilot.
Right, and that's what I was saying. When I read this, this is, we're voting it as it is. And I'm just gonna say, as a classified former employee, we always got the shaft, just like the kids were saying. And I'm wanna look out for their best interests.
That's
just-
what we're trying to put it in for, so that they're getting their
No,
compensation.
no, because they tried putting it in when I was in the union, and we fought it.
Question.
Transportation tried to put it in. Say, so, go ahead.
Timmy.
Absent this time clock, those people will still continue to be paid based on the fact that they turn the sheets in, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. I think, we've been doing this, this way for some time. And, I think if you look out in the world, there's a lot of businesses where people work without a time clock and they get paid and there's not a problem. And there's also a lot of businesses where they do that same thing, or maybe they have a timekeeping system that's inaccurate. And, you may end up with people coming to you with claims, which could be, a significant amount of money, saying, you have not paid me for time I have worked. And you need to make sure, it's our responsibility to make sure there is a system which keeps an accurate record of what time our employees work. I don't want to be the time clock guy, but I'm also seeing this problem of, we have to make sure we're paying our employees for the time they're working accurately.
Well, I have a question. How come we can't do the whole district and everybody be on the time clock instead of picking and choosing? That's everybody. to make sure everybody's doing 40 hours instead of classified, certified, why we just can't do everybody? How does that sound? So we're all on the same page.
Yeah, I know there is, that it would definitely change the quote there. I know that's probably one of the smaller concerns there. I can't see logically a reason, but it would change that rate. We pay by person we put on the system.
Also, the certified union, they're all exempt, and the certified employee groups. And so Barb might be able to speak to how the certified group would feel about having a timekeeping system. In a previous organization that I worked in, all certified did punch in as well as administrators, and it was for a safety measure and not for a timekeeping measure, but to make sure that we knew who was in the building at what time, and we could pull a report to say, these people, if we had a fire alarm, or because sign-in sheets, if you forget to grab them, you don't know who's in the building, but electronically you could pull a report, from outside of the building and find out who was in the building. So
But don't teachers have to sign out every time they go? If they're just gonna go to McDonald's, don't they have to sign out? Or could they
No.
just punch out where they're supposed to, correct?
that's what
Every
we
time they leave
understand
that
is that
building, they
Nope.
sign out. I
Well,
don't know.
in the high school, they have their little, they still have that, right?
in which building?
In the high school, they still have where they have to swipe the badge?
Oh, the Prox card
Yeah.
to get in and out? I
That
believe
one
so.
could check it, but in the other schools, typically the certified will go into the office, say, I'm gonna leave now, go here, and I'll be right back. It's a verbal.
I'd like to hear what Barb has to say about all this. You got 1 minute, Barb.
Well, I imagine certified staff would probably, if they're going to be time checked, they would like to do so you could see all the hours they put in doing their job. And it would probably be a lot more than they're getting paid for. That's my response. They are salaried employees, and they already put in a ton of hours. They put in a ton of hours here at the building and at home. So that's my thought. Was that short enough?
What you want to do, Ms. Q?
Any more discussion on it?
It's changed.
We both know.
Motion, change.
I still would like the language changed on here.
So
So,
what are you suggesting? Table it or amend it? or-
amend it, where they will put in the proper,
Okay, so then. Motion. Motion.
I got a question. Eddie, this is for you. Are you guys able to amend it tonight? Is that possible? To add what Mrs. Quintana would like?
I think we're struggling a bit to get to exactly what the language is you want to see in there. I mean, if it's just trying to define what is exempt, I think we could probably come up with that in, 15 minutes or so. I don't know. I don't have that right off the top of my head, though. I'd want to look it up and make sure that was actually accurate.
would
But
it
if you
be
just want to
easier
add,
put who is, like, teachers are non-exempt?
yeah, I mean, if you just
I
want
mean,
to
if you
add
wanna put
classified and support and tech in there,
But
that
you would have to break down, so classified is also in your department and
Right.
And that would be a lot of
thinking
research to
it's
do,
probably better to
Not really.
take some time and get that right.
to get it, to make sure that every
Well, if they do
title's
every
in there.
one, but
Yeah.
see, he could say classified in the ESS building. Everybody else out there knows they're classified. I know, they know. I just want them to know when we pass this, approve it, that we were very thorough in it.
So, I mean, maybe the best thing is to try and kind of pass that back and forth a bit and make sure our language is matching what you're looking for.
So then we can't table it.
Table,
Yeah.
Okay, there's a motion on the diocese to table this.
We gotta vote on that first. And then when we come back, we have to they have to bring it back, but we still have to vote.
Right.
No, because if it fails, it can't come back to the.
Yeah, it can't come back if it fails.
right,
As,
So it's-
as they redo it though, right?
no.
No, we have to
Once it's-
table it.
We have to table it, so they
Well,
can
we
go
didn't,
back and
we
redo
didn't
it.
brought things back that this board has failed.
Exactly.
We have, now all of a sudden we doing board policy, correct?
Yes.
We have brought things back to this board, specifically that $62,000 lawnmower that we voted no on and they brought it back.
Exactly.
So now all of a sudden we changing the board policy to fit the board. No, we have to do it the right way if we're gonna do it.
So,
I believe governing board role, I believe the correct procedure would be is to table.
just
Because
table it.
you're gonna table it and you're gonna ask him to
Bring back.
Revise it.
revise it, and then you're gonna bring it back, and then when you bring it back, then you're gonna make a motion to either,
But we've already made a motion and a second on this one.
Well, when when he opened it up for discussion, that's where it changed.
Okay, so if we can't vote, then I guess we gotta have a consensus. Do we table this? Joe,
Yes.
Timio,
Yes.
myself, yes. Connie,
Yes.
Harvest.
No,
Okay, consensus went through 4-1. So we'll table this, Monica. And then if, maybe you wanna get with Eddie a little bit more and explain it a little bit. It's late, so. I know some of them are tired, they gotta come to work tomorrow,
I do too.
Same here.
so I don't.
I do.
All right, under discussion, future Board of Education meetings, or is there something else?
An amended agenda item?
Oh, yeah, this
2.10?
and then I have some,
Oh, okay.
The credit recovery.
There's a need, for amending,
It's already been amended.
The one we already brought it up.
okay, we brought up, this will be amendment to the agenda, okay.
Needs to read it.
Right, this is resolution number 17-005, Board of Education, Adams County School District 14, credit recovery fee charge. A resolution calling for a credit recovery fee charge in Adams 14. Whereas credit recovery will be offered as a course to high school students during summer programming who have one or more Fs earned on students' transcripts, or for students who are looking for credit advancement. And whereas Adams 14 students and families will be charged a $25 fee to participate in the credit recovery course when registering between April through May 24, 2017, or a $40 late registration fee if registered after May 25, 2017. And whereas the credit recovery program will be offered from June 5, 2017 through June 22, 2017 at Adams City High School, Lester Arnold High School, Adams City Middle School for incoming ninth graders, and Kearney Middle School for incoming ninth graders. And whereas the student fee will only be charged for the credit recovery course during the program time period, fees collected for credit recovery will be deposited into a credit recovery fund that will be used to host future credit recovery courses. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of Adams County School District 14, Adams County, State of Colorado, does hereby approve charging a $25 fee or a $40 late registration fee for the credit recovery program in Adams 14, adopted and approved this 25th day of April 2017.
Okay, I need a,
I got a question.
wait, under
How
discussion.
do we come up with $25 fee?
Under discussion.
You gotta do it under discussion, Joe.
All right.
I need a motion for the approval of Resolution 17-005, calling for a credit recovery fee charge in Adams 14.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion, okay, Joe.
How did you come up with a $25 fee?
Good evening. My name is Sheila Burke, and the $25 fee came historically of what we've charged previously in Adams 14, so I used what we've currently done.
Does that support the program for the upcoming year?
It'll support our summer school program for the 2017, and then our goal is to use the funds to provide instruction for this summer, and then if there's any funds remaining, we'll then to help it pay it forward for the fall program in December.
And how long did you say this fee has been, $25?
I saw it last year. I don't know historically past that. I just looked to see what we did last year.
It's been a while because when I had my grandson, I had to pay it. But I guess why is it 40 if they're late? Because usually that program fills up really fast because they only take so many students.
Right. So we are offering it at Adams City High School and at Lester Arnold. We are going to be operating out of the 5 labs that are there. We can hold approximately 50 students in each of the labs. With it, we wanted to make sure that we urge our families to register early so that we can help to organize our transportation costs, our food services programs, and then some others. So we wanted to make sure that we offer a benefit with them, which again was done historically last year.
I have a question. And I've been out of school for a mighty long time, but I'm trying to figure out, and help me out, how can Adams City Middle School incoming freshmen and Kearney Middle School incoming freshmen, they shouldn't even have a transcript, so why are they on here?
Good question. So we're trying to offer our incoming 9th graders the opportunity to take their algebra courses. They currently take them at the middle school, however, they do not receive credit for them. So if we can capture them in our summer school programs, then we can offer them the credit course to advance them so that they can then advance their transcripts and then possibly do a dual enrollment at a college location. So we're trying to help be proactive and get them courses taken earlier.
But in the first paragraph, it say credit recovery will be offered, of course, to high school students during summer. F's earned as students' transcripts. So it doesn't say if the kid in middle school, the student in middle school, received an F.
Right. And in the same line where you're at, Mr. Thompson, it also says that we're looking to do credit advancement. And that would be part of the credit advancement. So for students that are looking to take an extra class because they either want to graduate early or attend a college, as well as while they're enrolled at the high school, then we want to be able to allow them to move forward in their credits.
So this also can go to kids in the high school want credit advancement too then?
Yes. It works both ways. So students that are in need of credit recovery because they failed a course by receiving an F, or for students who are looking to take an additional class because they want to move ahead in their credits. So we have it for both.
So they can graduate early?
Yes.
And it's
Someone I know?
Yes.
and it's only for the middle school students that want to take algebra. That's
We have it right now set up for algebra, yes.
And if I could just help out a little bit, Mr. Thomas, we have quite a few students in 8th grade that are taking a freshman algebra class in 8th grade. Because they're in 8th grade, they don't get credit. So it's hurting our district. We're not getting credit for those kids. So all we're doing now is allowing them, they've already put in their time in 8th grade. Now we're giving them the fast track in high school, and now they're going to get that algebra credit as a 9th grader.
So it's considered an AP class then?
No, it's just algebras now. But now, if I'm a freshman, when August starts, they can go into geometry.
Right. So they can
And they've
move
been
ahead.
given credit for algebra, whereas in the past, they went into geometry, but they were never given credit for algebra. And that hurts the district because it doesn't show a lot of our students passing that algebra class.
And we want to prevent our children from having to take remedial courses when they get through college. So we want to be able to offer that opportunity now through our summer programs. And this would be one of those to be able to do that.
What about the families that don't have the $25?
Well, that was are you going to be able to are we going to be able to offer scholarships to students that cannot afford it?
Yes, I'm glad that you both asked. So we do have a scholarship form that our counselors are filling out, as well as our secretary for summer school at Adams City High School, who will be Mrs. Rivera. So we're offering the summer school scholarship. So we have other funds set up for those families that are not able to pay the fee. And then we also have funds available for our students that are considered Title X and migrant students.
So my question is, if we have people that want to do the grant, then why are we charging $40 for a 17-day program?
Say it one more time, Mr. Dreiling, I'm
Why
sorry.
are we charging $40 a late registration fee when this program is only 17 days long? And if people want to apply for a grant or a scholarship, the $40 doesn't make any sense.
So we're
I
using
know the motivation behind it, but if they can't pay the 25, they can't pay the 40.
Right. So we would still do it under the $25 fee. With that, our goal is to be able to fund the program and the cost of the program.
But you said yourself, this program fills up full very quickly.
Yes.
What is the student count for this program?
So we have the 5 labs times the 50 students with them, and that's just the online version. And then we're also offering it face-to-face with an instructor for those students who need more support from a
One-on-one.
one-on-one. Yes, thank you.
So that's 250.
Yes.
So how long during the day would students have to go to school?
So our instructional time for summer program is 3 hours, so they can take up to 2 courses during that time. The online course will be a little different, so as they finish the course, and they have the opportunity to take additional courses. So the fee is only for a one-time fee, so they can take as many courses as they need. It's not $25 per course.
Well, I really don't agree with the $40. I'm okay with everything else. I think it's terrific that we help these kids get credit for it as they move into high school and move advance. But I don't think we need to be paying them or have them charge $40 because they have to register on the 25th because they're out of town or something. I just don't. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Thank you for the feedback.
No, Sheila, I remember when we first started this, and I think Gianni was part of it. We had to buy the license. So are those licenses still good? They're ours?
Right.
Or do we have to keep doing it?
We have to renew it, and Gianni, you can correct me if I'm
Because that's why I was
wrong.
wondering,
I believe that was the Plato license. I
That
think
was the Plato license
we
that we
approved that a
approved
little bit
earlier.
earlier in
And I
in our
believe
meetings.
it's yearly, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, I just thought,
It is yearly.
just want to make sure that we,
Mhm.
you know.
Right, so our goal would be that we use it throughout the year as well.
Okay.
Can we amend?
I don't know. I think it's
Is there consensus to get rid of the $40? I'd like to see it go away. Okay, the question has been brought up by 2 individuals, and I don't know if this will hurt your program or not, but there has been some discussion that maybe we should do away with the $40 and just stay. Would that hurt you if we did away with that $40? If with our students on the 24th may be out of town, can they, if there's room? You know, I don't know, what's your program, for how many students is it open for?
Our goal is, with the credit recovery, our goal is to service the 250 students. Our goal for the entire summer program is to serve 450 students at the high school levels.
So,
To answer your question, President Rolla, if you're asking, is it going to hurt our program? No, we're going to do it regardless because we want to be able to offer the students what they need to help them graduate early and to help them get ahead in their academic career. So if the board's recommendation is that we just offer the $25 fee, then we can do that as well.
so do we have, there's a motion there, so I need a consensus. Do we want to get rid of the $40 fee? Joe?
Yes.
Timio?
Yes.
David? Yeah. Connie?
Yes.
Harvest?
Yes.
Okay, can you just scratch that out, Sheesh, and then,
Initial.
Yes, sir. So I can change it to just reflect the $25 fee
Yeah.
from now until the courses begin in June.
Now,
We'll
will you have to
advertise that.
change your registration
We
date,
will.
deadline date as well, or not?
our deadline date will stay the same. We want to register students up until the time we have it. We wanted to have an end date more for food services so we know exactly how many students to serve, and for transportation so we can build the routes for our children. So we'll just advertise it with the $25 with it under your recommendations.
Thank you.
Any other questions that I can
One
answer?
quick, how are y'all advertising for this, for the students?
So we did flyers. We sent F letters home from the counseling office at the high schools. We have done invitations that have come sent from the district office here. We've done registration packets sent from the counseling offices and from the schools, and we've also done auto dialers. I've been meeting with families, and I've gone to each school's PTO and their back committees to talk about and promote our program and answer any questions that our staff and our families have. I've also gone to all of their staff meetings to advertise them all through March.
So have the students that are in need of recovery, have their counselors really contacted their parents and let them know how important this is? Because let's say they're a junior, they become a senior, and all of a sudden they can't graduate because they missed a class. And here the parents go and spend, I don't know what it costs to graduate. I'm sure close to $1,000 this day and age by the time you get caps and gowns, pictures and yearbooks and all this. So are the counselors getting with students that really need the help? Do you know?
Yes, and Dr. Brego and I have met with the counseling staff as our district leaders, our summer school principals, and then our coaching staff as well, so that we can promote the program. They're meeting with the students. We gave them specific tasks and deadlines that we ask them to meet, and then I check in with them regularly. Every week I check in with the summer school principal, and then bi-weekly I check in with the counseling staff to make sure that our deadlines are being met and that they're meeting with our students.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, can we have roll call, Monica?
Mr. Achuleta?
Aye.
Mr. Dryling?
Aye.
Mrs. Quintana?
Aye.
Mr. Rolla?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you.
And Mr. Roll, I just wanted to say I do have some expulsions that I need to read into the record.
Okay.
It's after. I'll do that at the end.
Moving on to discussion real quick on the future Board of Education meetings. Now, it was brought up that on the second meeting that we should have just a quick agenda, and then we could discuss, I guess, at that time, we could have budget come in, or we could have something come in to discuss at that time. So that way, sometimes we don't have to have special board meetings, since a lot of times the guys that are working can't get off, and this way we would all be here to make a decision. Any discussion on that?
Is that gonna be like, if it's like the second, like today?
Yeah.
So it's like a study session almost, or we not voting on
Whatever.
anything? Or we just bringing things to
Yeah,
the,
whatever comes up. But see, we would, Harvest, we would get rid of like celebrations
Second.
there, and we would just basically, I would say that we would just read our policies and
Recommendations, right? Any recommendations?
it's only one thing.
agenda there, basically superintendent's report and recommendation and celebrations. And then the rest is just boom, boom. There's where it takes the time, is the celebrations and reports.
So we could do that on the first.
We could do that on the first.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Is that what we want to try it at least a couple times, so we can maybe do it 2 times, 3 times, and then we can make a final decision during the summer?
Sure.
Is that good enough? Okay, so we would start next board meeting?
Like we,
Yes, no? Okay, so we want to start next board, and maybe since we need more time with the budget, Sandy, could you report again next board meeting? Okay, so we want to do that then. All right, so we did that.
So then do you wanna do that do you want to have this format at the next board meeting?
Yeah.
Or at the second board meeting?
Second board meeting.
Oh, what is this, the
This
second?
this is the second tonight,
Oh,
so.
okay, be the second board meeting. That's what happens when you get old. Stuff, so. All right, and second board. Next week, we'll have a regular board meeting. Then on the second one, we have there.
Yeah.
Communications there, Dr. Abrego, did you say you had something?
Well, I do want to read the student expulsion, so,
Oh, okay, maybe we do that at the end after communication.
okay.
My communication is, and I don't see Dale here, but I know we were at District 14 Foundation, and it really turned out well. I mean, it was so, the only problem that we had there was that there was a, FBLA state conference, and we had a lot of our students that were getting scholarships were taking part in that, and we did get a message that one was going on to the national or something, right? That they had won the state and go on to national. But it was really well attended, and it was good to see with people, different people to talk to. I had a good enjoyment talk with Mayor Ford as we talked, and I was able to sit with Sergio at that time. So it really went well, and I don't know if any other board member wants to comment that was there.
I thought it was really, like you said, one of our best, because we sat with the students and their parents, and we were able to carry on a conversation. The young lady at mine, she got a $10,000 scholarship, and her parents, and they were just so proud. You know, it was just really nice. And we had one of the ROTC in our group too.
So did we.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to add for our board, and I've been telling everyone too that May 11th is a very important date for us, and I just want to thank our staff because we're putting together our presentation for the state board, and we do want to practice it with our governing board and show you the presentation. But I'm very proud of the staff, and as I said, I'm very, very thinking positive that the state board is going to allow us to choose our pathway and not choose one for us. So we hope to do that presentation for you quickly. And again, there's many, many good things going on in our district, and we do have many students that won scholarships. I believe the student that is going to Disneyland is a freshman, so our students are doing very well, and we're very proud of them.
I'd like to report on a meeting that we had with, I'd like to also honor City Councilman Steve Douglas here for attending our board meeting. Thank you, Steve, for coming in. But we had a meeting with the City of Commerce City and the school district to try and partner together, because I don't know how long it's been since the city and the school district have had meetings together to see what exactly is going to, policies and procedures at the state level that are going to affect the city are happening at the school district, start those conversations. Some of the board members, I think all the board members were at that meeting. We have another one scheduled. I'd like to just thank the city for reaching out and, trying to build a relationship with the school district, because we do need each other. And I was at the Adams 14er also, and I'm very proud of the students that receive the scholarships. I'm also proud of the students that don't receive scholarships, but that go on to move and graduate from high school. I'm also proud of those students. So it's not just the ones that are successful in somebody's gauge of being successful. The ones that just graduate high school, I'm proud of them also. So congratulations to all our students that are going to be coming up. I also thank the students for coming to the district and participating here in what they spoke about earlier on. I happened to be here at the district at the time that it happened, and I went out and I talked with them, and I thank you for your participation in all this stuff, and hopefully we continue to move forward. We're moving forward. We're not moving forward fast enough, but we are moving forward. I'd like to thank Dr. Abrego for taking the questions. They're hard questions, but our kids are doing critical thinking. That's what we asked them to do, and I'd like to just congratulate them for that. That's my report.
I have a comment. For the young lady here, the high school student right here, what grade are you in? Come on up to the podium for me, please. I forget your name, so if you can state your name again, please.
My name is Viridiana Varela.
you handled yourself very well, and you see the seat on the other side of Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
We're looking for a student to sit in that seat, to be the liaison between us and the council, the student council.
Mhm.
Could you, if you're interested, could you please go with Mr. Thompson and Dr. Abrego, if you're interested to sit in that chair?
I would love to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, you go ahead and
Okay. For our board, pursuant to board policy and Colorado Revised Statutes, I have the following student expulsions to read into the record. Student number 1071148, student number 1130528, and student number 1111776. Thank you.
I need a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we will now adjourn at 9:23.
Don't forget, we get the swimming pool